Hi, and welcome to the video about Bill Dellert's 1965 Ford Mustang. I purchased this car in May of 1990. At the time it had 33,000 miles on it. I'm the third owner of the car. It's been through an extensive restoration process. This is the final result. A really good looking 65 Fastback. Let's take a look at this car. Okay, currently there's the mileage on it. 43,000, looks like 838 or 78. I just got back from Homestead Miami Speedway where this car was on display. We'll take a look at the interior. Okay, this is the correct rally pack for a 65. Purchased this up in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. The car has basically been completely restored, as I said. Everything inside has been redone. This is a correct factory air conditioning unit for it. It has a Cruise-O-Matic transmission. The only thing that's not standard in this interior is this USA 1 custom auto sound radio stereo for this car. It has a CD player in the trunk. While completely stock in appearance, this engine has been rebuilt, and it has a slightly higher performance cam than the one that came in it. It has flat top pistons. The engine's been completely balanced, and it was completely reassembled, obviously, and it runs great. It's not a real gas mileage car, however. Here's an underhood view with the Autolite 4100 carburetor that's on there. That has, of course, been rebuilt and functions as well as a 65 Mustang carburetor can. This car has factory disc brakes, and the disc brakes this car has factory disc brakes. All the brake lines were replaced, and all of the lines in this car are stainless steel. Transmission lines, brake lines, fuel lines. More expensive, but certainly going to last the life of the car. The brakes also have silicone brake fluid in them. As opposed to using regular brake fluid, the silicone fluid is much better. It's not hygroscopic, which means no water gets in it, which means that none of your brake parts will rust. I had a 66 Mustang that I had for over 20 years, and I had silicone fluid in it and never had a problem with it. Alright, let's take a look at the back of this car. It's just like everything else. It's great. It's been a really nice restoration. The license plate that comes with this car is correct for the year. It's 1965 Pinellas County plate. That's where the 4 comes from. Okay, as we walk up a little closer, give you some idea of what it looks like underneath. Of course, this was a rotisserie restoration, so everything on the bottom of the car, just like on the top of the car, was restored. It's all been undercoated. Okay, here's the car's trunk. It has a new gas tank underneath it. idea. It looks like everything is, I'm not going to go peeling this up, but everything has been done underneath here, just like on the top of it. Of course, it has the 5th steel style wheel. All the tires obviously match. And she's really tight. A very, very tight car. Here's a view of the interior from the passenger side. And of course it's a fastback with a flip down seat. Here's with the seat down. All the chrome, of course, was replaced on here. The steering wheel was custom made at Orlando Mustang. It's correct for the car, except that it's actually wood rather than plastic. The steering wheel alone on this car was about $600, but it's a beauty. Here's kind of to give you an idea what the car looks like underneath from the front. I haven't cleaned this since it came back from Homestead yet, and usually before a show, and we have one coming up in March, I'll put the car up on ramps and really clean it up real good underneath here and get rid of all the dirt. It doesn't get used that much, so it doesn't get that dirty, but just like anything else, you just never know what you're going to see when you're on the road. But you can see everything that's been done has been done correctly. It's all factory correct. And all the lines, metal lines that were steel or stainless steel in this, again, it's one of those things that I did because I wanted it to last a lot longer and be maintenance free. I don't really know how well this will show up, but basically this is the under chassis of the car. I did put a new gas tank in it when I restored it. Also a whole completely new aluminized exhaust system. It has dual exhaust. It didn't have that. That was a dealer option. The shock absorbers in this, while they're painted black to look original, are actually KYB gas shocks. Makes the car handle a lot better. You can't really feel it, but you do have a real decent air conditioner on here. It does run R134, but it's very cool. A friend of mine actually got the system so that it's really, really perfect. So it gets about as good a breeze as you're going to get from this kind of air conditioner. Again, this isn't a modern car, but it's nice in Florida to have AC. Okay, we're going to take it for a little ride so you can get an idea just around the neighborhood. Hasn't really warmed up yet, so I'll try not to do any damage to myself or to drive. It's no badass car. Performance-wise, it's not that great off the line because it has a 273 rear end ratio in it, so it gets up and moves, but my neighbor. He has a 66 Mustang. There's quite a few people in my neighborhood that have Mustangs, so. Needless to say, I'm going faster than 25, so. Anyway, this kind of gives you some idea of how it goes down the road. Here's kind of a close-up look at the car. One of the things that impressed me about this car when I bought it was the fact that it was never ever in any kind of an accident. The sides on this car are incredibly straight, and if you stripped off all the paint, you would just see metal. Didn't need to be any Bondo or anything. There was no door dings. There was never any kind of an accident that this thing was in. And one of the things that's real impressive when people look down the side of this car is just how straight it is. I don't know if this will show it or not, but both sides are like this. There was a lot of metal work done back here because there was a lot of rust in this area. But it's all been redone, and it was all done with metal. The metal was made and welded in place. A lot of time went into restoring these. Notice the way the doors close. Everything on this car has been lined up. It's a lot tighter and a lot better than when it came out of the factory in 1965. You can see how nicely it lines up. So that's about it. When I restored it, I put just about every option that you could put on it. The mirrors. One of the nice things about this car is the stainless steel. I worked my butt off on it, but it's all been polished and has a new windshield in it. The cowl has been completely rebuilt. This whole section underneath here, there was rust under it, and so that was completely removed, and new cowl was put in place, and then of course it all welded back together again. It's a great car. I've enjoyed owning it. And the only reason I want to sell it is because I have another one that I want to finish, and right now I just can't do two cars at the same time. So I've owned this one since 1990. It's been a part of my life for a long time, and I'll miss it. But I sure would like to see it go to a good home, somebody who will enjoy it, have a lot of fun with it, because it's a great car.